Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. Some of these Afro-American Negroes, such as these pro-blacks, these hoteps, and especially these Afro-American Negro Nerds, have taken offense to the commentary I have made about this Black Panther teaser trailer. And they are pretty much so emotional about this Black Panther movie being made that they think everyone has to support this movie unconditionally. And what they show in their unconditional support for this Black Panther movie is how spellbound they are regarding black characters created by white people. And that pretty much shows me how dysfunctional they are, because they clearly can't see the bigger picture regarding the African American image and who controls the African American image. Now, many of these Negroes who are so hyped up and emotional about this Black Panther movie, they just can't connect the dots to see who owns the Black Panther right now and why black people like myself are so concerned about who controls that image. Now, when it comes down to your Black Panther, he was, again, created by two Jewish men, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And the owners of Marvel Comics right now is the Disney Corporation, a company that was pretty much run by Walt Disney back in the day, who was a virulent racist. And if we look at the media that's on Disney right now, it pretty much is showing that you're not going to get a really positive portrayal like many of you anticipate getting at the theaters next year, because your Black Panther, which is produced by Marvel, which is owned by Disney, is the same company that currently produces Scandal. The same Scandal that pretty much has Olivia Pope being a side piece to the President of the United States. And because many of these Negro nerds can't connect dots and see the bigger picture, they're all hyped up to go to see this Black Panther movie, not understanding that Olivia Pope works right across the lot from T'Challa. And this pretty much doesn't bother these Negro nerds because they're so emotional that all they're thinking about is that their black superhero is finally going to be on screen in a major film, not ever thinking about who is making the film and what other products this company has produced. I mean, it's really strange bedfellows for me to see Olivia Pope and T'Challa in the same bed at the same company. I mean, here we have a classic Negro woman who is a side piece being made at a TV show at the same company where they're making a film about a black superhero, but not one of these Afro-American Negroes, these pro-blacks, these hoteps, these Negro nerds, can connect a single dot or apply any of their critical thinking skills to connect a single dot. And what's so backwards about it is that these Negro nerds are supposed to be the smartest people in the black community, yet it does not register a single note in their minds that Scandal is being produced by the same company that produces Black Panther. And they're sitting there thinking that they're going to get this great superhero movie by this black director, and not understanding the game is chess, not checkers. And if you understand that the game is chess, you will look at that black director and say to yourself, this Negro is being set up and he's just window dressing on a bigger window. He basically is just there to pretty much make many of these Afro-American Negroes fall right in line and stand right outside of that box office to go watch this Black Panther movie. Now, Ava DuVernay, she pretty much saw all the dots being connected, and that's why she left this Black Panther movie. She could pretty much see it. But this other director, he couldn't connect the dots, and he's thinking that this is going to lead to his big break. And because they have attached a black director to this Black Panther movie, many of these Negro nerds are sitting there thinking that this is going to be a great black movie for black people. I'm sorry to say this, but that's just not going to happen. I mean, if you pretty much can connect the dots and say, hey, if the company that produces Scandal is producing Black Panther, there's got to be something wrong with that. Moreover, this is a character created by two Jewish men, so it's not going to be a balanced, accurate representation of African Americans in this film. And with the company that pretty much producing minstrel shows like Song of the South in its past, and films like Princess and the Frog, which pretty much didn't really do a good job of presenting a positive image of black people, because your Tiana pretty much was sitting there deifying and worshiping an Arab man in Disney's animated film with a black princess. They couldn't even get you a black princess, but they're going to go out of their way to give you a wonderful Black Panther movie that pretty much presents a positive portrayal of African Americans. It's a shame that these Afro-American Negroes just can't connect all the dots and see the bigger picture that is being presented of them. No, when it comes down to these Afro-American Negroes, they sit there and they'll tell you, you know, why are you talking bad about the Black Panther movie? Why are you saying bad things about the Black Panther movie? You must be jealous of the Black Panther and Marvel Comics. And some of them, again, just as dysfunctional. It doesn't matter who created the Black Panther. Well, I'm showing you right now why it's important of who created the Black Panther, and more importantly, who owns the Black Panther, because that pretty much is going to frame the theme of that film, it's going to frame the story of that film, and it's going to frame the imagery of that film. And this is something that the Afro-American Negro does not understand, because they are so desperate to win white approval and white acceptance that they'll support anything made by a mainstream company that features someone that looks like them or someone who looks like them working on the film, not thinking about the passive-aggressive behavior that these people are participating in, because they'll put that black director up in front on that film as window dressing, but then they'll go and push their themes and narratives regarding black people in the imagery of that film. And those visuals, once they are in the film, are there, and they're pretty much there to tell the story that appeals to white people about black people, not tell a story that pretty much accurately reflects us. And that goes over the heads of most of these Afro-American Negroes, especially these Negro nerds, because they want to be accepted by white people so bad. That's why they like this Black Panther so much, because he pretty much represents that black man who has been accepted by white people. He represents that black man who has been approved by white people. This is why they can get so upset at me, a black creator, for being critical of Black Panther, and get more upset with me when I pretty much vent my frustrations about getting no support from the black people who I'm trying to sell products to. For them, they think that black creators are angry, black creators are jealous, when we're not jealous at all. We see the big picture regarding things, and we see the wool getting ready to be pulled over your eyes. Unfortunately, you're so spellbound by the attention that these white people are giving you with this Black Panther and the product that they're trying to sell you, that you can't see how these same white people are slapping you in the face, and how they have slapped you in the face in the past. Because, again, I'm a screenwriter, and I can't make up something as insane as the company that makes Scandal making Black Panther, and yet the Afro-American Negro nerds are going to sit there and support this movie and then go out here and then say that Scandal degrades black people, but this Black Panther movie is going to uplift black people, yet it's made by the same company made by Disney. As a screenwriter, I can't make up anything this insane. Yet I see this happening right in front of me, and it's just like the novel Spellbound I wrote last year. I mean, you put things in front of this Negro, and they pretty much show you how spellbound they are and how desperate they are to fit into the black box that makes them comfortable with white people. And what's really sad about this is that many of these Afro-American Negroes don't understand that when it comes down to the black image, it has always been the black man who has always gone out of his way to present the most accurate and balanced picture of African Americans in media. I mean, I look at the only great black superhero movie ever made, Blade, and that was produced by Wesley Snipes. And that fits right in line with the history of black cinema that has always presented black people in a balanced and humanized perspective. I mean, Wesley Snipes made Blade with his own production company and pretty much partially was one of the producers on that film. And that's why we got the vision that we got, because he was telling a story from a black perspective. The same thing with Luke Cage. That came from a black production company, and that told the story from a black perspective. And the reason why that was told is because, again, the argument I made in videos before, telling you about those who control the money control the media, and those who control the media control the narrative. And because Wesley Snipes was using his own dollars, and because these other people were using their own dollars, we pretty much got a pretty much more balanced picture. And that, again, fits right in line with black cinema that we've seen before, because Melvin Van Peebles, when he made Sweet Sweetback, had to use his own money to make that film. The same thing with Robert Townsend, the same thing with Spike Lee. Both of those men used their own credit cards to make Hollywood Shuffle and She's Gotta Have It. They made their films with their own money, and they presented a balanced portrayal of black people. The same thing with the Hudlin brothers when they made House Party. They used their own money, they made their own media, and they made a narrative and a theme about black. And the same thing with Ava DuVernay with I Will Follow. Now, the thing with Ava DuVernay with I Will Follow that is very powerful to me is that your Ava DuVernay only had $50,000, and she was managed to get a star on the level of Sally Richardson Whitfield to star in that film, and then she went to go get a black distributor to distribute that film to theaters such as the Magic Johnson here in Harlem. And she pretty much proved to us all that it is possible for us to make our own films, get our own films distributed, and pretty much have a place in the marketplace. And this is something that goes over the heads of many of these Afro-American Negroes, like these Hoteps and these pro-blacks who are always talking about building and how we need to support our own businesses. Well, your Ava DuVernay pretty much showed that we can make our own movies, get our own movies distributed, and pretty much find a place for our movies at the movie theater without having to deal with Hollywood at all. But these Negroes are so spellbound that they believe that the white man's ice is colder, so they have to go out and support this Black Panther movie, because if we don't support this Black Panther movie, they won't make any more superhero movies with black people in them. And that's pretty much insane to think about, because here you had Wesley Snipes pretty much prove that there is a market for African-American fantasy and science fiction with Blade. There is a market for African-American superheroes with Blade. Prove that we could make our own superhero movies with our own money with Blade. Then we have Ava DuVernay pretty much proving that with I Will Follow, we can distribute our own films and make money at it, because Ava DuVernay pretty much made a profit on I Will Follow. Then we had Scott Sanders and Michael Jai White come out with Black Dynamite and pretty much prove that a black character could pretty much get an audience and get distribution and pretty much make money as well. But to the Afro-American Negro, especially the Negro Nerd, the Black Panther is the only thing that's out there, and we have to support the Black Panther, because if we don't support the Black Panther, they won't make any more films. And what's completely backwards about that is we have to support the company that produces scandal that degrades black women in order to get uplifted by Black Panther, when we've pretty much proven we can do this by ourselves, and that the tools and resources are there for us to do it. Because if Ava DuVernay, Scott Sanders, and Wesley Snipes, and Michael Jai White can do it, then we all can go out here and do it. I mean, even Shawn James can go out here and do it. I mean, all the tools are in front of us. We have streaming. We have all this technology, but the Afro-American Negro thinks the only way for us to find a positive image of black people is to go and watch a movie about a character who was created by white people and because they want acceptance from that white man they pretty much deify, and they pretty much want to get his approval. So we have to support this Black Panther movie, and we have to ignore all these black creators out here, like myself, who are making efforts to try to uplift the image of black people and present a positive image of black people. But we're castigated because we are critical of this, and we're critical of the lack of support that we get from our own community, because our own community is the one that's constantly complaining that no one makes black products, no one makes black products for black people, no one presents positive images of black people. I look at the bigger picture, and it's all code words for no one white makes products for black people, no one white approves black people, and it shows me how spellbound many of these Afro-American Negroes are and how desperate they are to fit in the black box that is comfortable and gets them, they think will get them the approval of white people. For them, fitting into the black box is what they want more than anything. And when you try to be critical of them and you try to explain things to them, you're the one that gets called an Uncle Tom, a sellout, or in the case of a black creator like myself, we're told that we are jealous of Marvel's Black Panther when we clearly see the bigger picture of things, and it just makes us sad because we see the game getting ready to be run using the exact same plays on black people that was done to them with Monsters Ball, Precious, The Princess and the Frog, with this Black Panther movie. A whole idea of, yeah, we're going to give you a black superhero movie, but we're going to profit off degrading you with your own image. But you can't tell that to the Afro-American Negro because they are spellbound and they are so desperate for the approval of white people that they can't see that the company that produces Scandal, that a TV show that where Olivia Pope is the side piece to the President of the United States, is being produced by is the same company that has gone out of its way to produce Black Panther, a movie that is supposed to uplift black people. And what's really dysfunctional about it is that black women are eager to watch Scandal, and black men will castigate them for that, but they'll sit there and say, we're going to go spend money to go see this Black Panther. I can't think of anything this insane, and I'm a screenwriter, but it's going on right in front of me, and it would boggle my mind if I didn't understand the dysfunction of this Afro-American Negro. If you want to learn more about the dysfunction of this Afro-American Negro, I urge you to go pick up my novel Spellbound. It pretty much breaks down the dysfunction that goes on where these Negroes try to fit into this black box to get the approval of white people. And if you want to try out some of my African-American fantasy, such as the ISIS series, the Eastine series, or the Temptation of John Haynes, you can do so by clicking the link to the Amazon.com in the description box. And if you want to support this channel and help me make more videos and pay for the book covers of the SJS Direct 2017 catalog, you can donate some money to my Patreon. $1 will go a long way by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.